Thank you. Hello, everyone. Okay, so let's start with a first question. So we're talking between the difference between US engineers and French engineers. So let's start with the mindset, the culture. So Jean-Baptiste, you have managed engineers in both places. What would you say are the biggest difference in terms of mindset and personalities?
So after 11 years in the Valley, I've been here for 3 months. And basically, the biggest difference of mindset I've seen is I think the engineers have to really be more ambitious and really trust in themselves. And the other big topic I've seen in the last 3 months is the aspect that growing in the tech ladder is okay, and it's actually we need it. We need it a lot in the company. So there is also some teaching to be done around the difference between management and leadership. You can be a great leader and still stay technical, and it's really about the impact you're making on the company as opposed to managing people. And so I thought that those concepts were very evolved in the Valley, and here needed to mature a little bit more.
And so today at TITS, do you have those two tracks, management and individual contributor, which are rewarded the same?
Yes, so we're putting that in place, yes, as we're growing very fast. And this is also a challenge because some of the engineers, when they come in, they kind of have this preconception that management is a way to grow. But when you look at the big company in the Valley, and you see the number, how technical track is rewarded, I think it's very important that when they're out of college, you understand that also technical track is important, and we are putting that in place right now as we grow.
Okay. And so, Sébastien, Nicolas, what do you have to say about this? How does it work for you?
I think it's pretty a good point of view because French point of view, French mindset is heritage from from industry and is very. People in France has a country of engineers. So engineers is about technical, is about working hard, and it's not about your mindset on what you have the problem of your company. So, as can I say is the big problem about the people growing in engineers in France is they want to be a manager after something like 2-3 years of coding. And this is about the different questions we had on the last panel. How do you make managing and coding? And I'm very, very pleased that I said that managers don't have to code. And it's very difficult for them because they want to be technical leaders and managing people. But if you want to make managing, it's about people. It's not about code. It's not the same thing.
And so, do you offer a track for individual contributors at Appen?
Yeah, Appen is quite small today. I think we've got some 30 people on the tech team, so it's quite easy today. But tomorrow it's going to be a bit difficult. And I'm just looking at the different where they want to grow. Some people want to be very technical experts, and some of them want to be very part of the product. And it's not the same thing. And what can you do in your area to grow up personally? It's very important. And we don't have tracks like very good tracks and expressed on the different years. I think it's very individual tracks that I have to work and to build every day.
Nicolas?
Yeah, I also think that it's true that in France, like a manager used to be the only way to grow. Now it changed a little bit in the past few years, but so I would say that even for as a young developers in the company, so now they are seeing management like, oh, it's evil and it's bad. And so it's also tricky to make them grow into the management because they know they're going to have to drop tool. And so I think it's hard to find people who are going to be interested into that because tech is so hype at the moment. So they are really scared of letting it go.
Yeah. And also, I see a lot of startups that create an amazing engineering culture with a like flat organization. And then when you start to grow and you need to have your first manager, it's a very scary time for the company because no one has been a manager, no one's kind of really want to be a manager without doing any tech, and clearly have a difficult time for startups. Okay, so next question. Brett told us before that the average for the industry for turnover is 25% every year. What's the situation for you guys?
It happened. So I came in Happen in August last year, and there were a problem with the turnover. The team was very small. However, there were a lot of departure. So it was quite a big question, and the big problem was obviously about the environment. They won't be very comfortable with the way they are doing, and the CTO is a co-founder, is very brilliant. It's brilliant in technical, but he was a bit scared about all the people they have to manage, and he loves techniques, so he wanted to techniques. So they looked for an old man like me just to work with the little guys, and it's eating. And today, I didn't have any volunteer departure. I'm sure I won't have some this year. It happened, but today is quite a good thing. I don't have for 1 year.
When I joined the company, it was only the two founders basically, and they were going crazy fast, but they had a really hard time keeping the people. Clearly because they were tech and they had so much to do, so they were going really fast and people could not jump into the train that much. But then that's why they hired me. And so the first, I would say, first year and a half were really good because it was small, it was a small team, and it was good for me to manage everybody. But I would say after 1 year and 6 months, we were getting close to 15 developers, and I was managing directly everybody. I knew it was bad, but it was hard for me to find those middle management guy. And so at this point, I would say it's a little bit of a mistake that I did, but it was too much pressure. And so I've been able to find some good guy, and I'm sure they're a good manager, but I give them the management position too fast. And I think you need to have more time for them to be part of the team before they're getting manager, or you want someone to emerge. So I think because of that, management, so myself and the two CTO, were a little bit too far from the tech guys, and so we had one or two departures, and I guess it's for that, because we create a distance into that. But now it's going back and good again.
Yes, so after 3 months, no one left. And before, when I was at Salesforce, I think one thing that's specific on these big companies is that I was able at Salesforce to find a good team, and we were working on this very good project, and I had seen nobody left voluntarily. But before that, I was on a startup, and that one, when it was smaller, I found that the turnover was a little bit higher, like 1 or 2, because what happened to the stock option and things like that, and job security or various concerns. But as the company scaled up, it reduced, and yes, so it was fairly low, yeah.
Yeah, we see this pattern of co-founders really sucking at managing people at the beginning, and a lot of people, struggling with this.
Yeah, and to add just a little thing is just the decision to hire one guy. Not, I don't code. I don't add value to the company every day. But just hiring one guy just to take care of people was a really great message.
Yeah. So we talk about retaining people. What about hiring and firing? Do you struggle with it? Is it easier in France, in the US?
Firing is every day, everything difficult. I didn't have, on my experience, to fire a lot of people because often people that are very comfortable in your position, they left. They left because we're on the tech area, and they can find a lot of very good job very easily, so they left. I just want it happened one time about a guy that he cannot come on the work on the morning, so it was a bit difficult. But about firing, you just have to be very, straight. The people of your team are waiting that you get straight, because if you're just too smooth, you're not very legitimate. No, it's a very good, important thing. About hiring, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, clearly hiring is a core of all the thing, but still I want to emphasize what Sylvain said before. Like clearly you should always say no if you're not 100% convinced, and clearly yes, the pressure is great, I mean really strong, but yeah, never give up on that. And like I want to emphasize, like the 6 first months in the company, I spent 50% of my time hiring people. And clearly, I had so much other stuff to do, but yeah, that's the most important to do.
Yes, on hiring, 100% agree. In fact, since I joined, I'm building a team, and I've seen many people, and I said no many times, and I'm holding on. and I'm seeing better and better profile too. And I think hiring is becoming such a big challenge that you have to really think out of the box. What is it you can do? For example, recently posted some thought leadership, an article on LinkedIn explaining why it's good to come back to France and things like that. And what I've noticed in Silicon Valley over the 11 years is at the end, it was getting really hard to find talent. And when I came to Montpellier, I found this amazing group of people who were extremely talented and better than a lot of the engineers I've seen over there. And that trend I could clearly see. I was so amazed by that, that this is something I think it's worth. And then on the firing side, yes, it's. Yeah.
Okay, so some good news here. Just a last question before we go to the crowd questions. In 2 words, currently, what are the parts of the culture at your company that you love the most, and the part of the culture you would like to change the most?
What I want to change the most is the culture of responsibility and autonomous. I think it's very important. I don't have middle management. All my guys on the flat management, and I think it's not so bad because we are organized like Scrum teams. And what I ask is the Scrum teams have to be responsible and autonomous on their work. And in the fact, I just have to deal with the personal, the managing stuff, but I don't deal with the technical stuff because they are the experts. And I don't know how to code mobile applications, too bad, and I don't know how to figure it out. But they are the experts, and today it's quite coming, but we have to go. And the other thing that I like very much at Happen is everybody on the tech team loves the product, and it's very important to work with the product that you love because you're not involved in the same time if you dislike your product.
Yeah, I would say what I would change the most is like we are growing, and sometimes developers forget they can change and have just do a quick fix, like in 2 seconds, like they are talking to someone during I don't know, a party or whatever, and they have a crazy good idea, so they can just do it. And so because we are getting bigger, you have more processes and stuff like that, and sometimes they forget that, okay, you have a crazy good idea, it's what, half a day or just 1 day, okay, go for it, take the time, and as soon as you're getting bigger, I guess people are gonna lose it. So yeah, that's something I want to change. And the good thing I like about the tech culture that we have is like pragmatism. Really, I think Doctolib is getting pretty big, and we are still having a big monolith, and we don't have microservice or everything. And I love that. It's really we're gonna do something crazy when we're gonna hit the wall. So really pragmatism about the tech side, and I love that.
The thing I like the most about our culture is really that we focus on everybody needs to reinvent themselves constantly, especially in the ad tech business. You can do well in 3 months and then things change 3 months later. So enforcing that and making sure everyone does that is really what I like the most. And the thing I don't like as much is I want all the engineers to believe that yes, we can compete against the Google and the Facebook. Like we don't need to be bought by somebody in the US or something. We can stay here, keep growing, keep hiring, keep moving. Like if that is not in everyone's mind, it's going to be very hard. And that trust in growing, it's critical that in a way every engineer runs the company and we're there to support them. So that needs to change.
Okay, thank you guys. So now, questions. First one, diversity. So I've worked in the Silicon Valley for 10 years, so diversity is clearly like, you talk about it like all the time. Here in France, it's something kind of new. Is it on your roadmap? Like, do you think about it? Do you put in place processes in your company? Or yeah, what should we do to change it and to make it happen more? Diversity in recruiting.
No, clearly, I mean, of course, we are okay. We're okay with diversity, and we are not doing but we are not doing I don't know, positive discrimination or whatsoever. I mean, clearly, we just want to hire, and everybody is more than welcome. And yeah, but we are not no techniques to emphasize that.
It's quite a difficult question because, of course, diversity brings you a lot of things, and all the way you want to do things. It's a really good thing, but on the otherwise, you don't want to choose people about their culture, about their color, or something like that. So I think it's like a goal that you got in mind, and every day that I see a resume, I forgive it very, very, very fast. So.
Yes. And on our side, I think we can do better, and we are pushing this way. By sponsoring events like Women in Tech and all. I really wish we have more women in the company, and I think that goes along with sponsor and really keep having events to motivate women and diverse people that everybody can do software engineer, and in fact we need that because otherwise it won't work. So that is where we're going, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. So and then I can talk for the startup I work for currently, so Base Impact. So we do a Bob Emploi, the platform to help job seekers in France. We are just like 6, 7 now, and we hire people, and all the people we get to hire are like ex-Googler, polytechnician, or whatever. It's great, but it kind of sucks at the same time. And then we decided to do some very proactive efforts to have at the beginning of the channel some other candidates, and we used the help of Mosaic RH. And they're specialized in diversity, and they found like an incredible girl from Cameroon who learned how to code by herself. So she's going to join the team in September. So Mosaic RH was a great thing for us to use. Okay, and then of course a big question about holidays, taking day off, RTT or whatever. Do you suffer from this? Is it a problem? Do people take them?
In a matter of fact, I didn't have a lot of problem with that because the first thing is, refusing a holiday is never a good thing because if somebody is asking for a day off, it's a good thing for you. So the only thing I do is about accept on the platform, and if I accept, I assume that the people they are asking for their holiday already have discussed with their teammates, and as I said, I don't want a problem, so you have to speak with them, and people are very responsible about that. They don't want to be alone when they have got problems, so they take care of others, and it's quite easy, I'm thinking. And I know that there is some companies, even in France, that they are getting every holiday that you want, and I think it's a good way.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's a no-brainer, the same. I mean, you just ask your team, and the good thing I'd like is just to put an agenda, like where we are doing the stand-up meeting, and so like everybody knows that, okay, already 3 members of the team is not here this week, so maybe it's not the good time. But like clearly empower the team on that.
Yes, I mean, if you hire the right people, you won't have to deal with that. So.
Yeah. And then you always have to force your other co-founders to take days off. It's always like a problem. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for all those insights.